Here in this demo unit, we are producing fruit tree seedlings. This will help the government achieve environmental sustainability in terms of forest cover, at the same time achieve food security. For now, we have started with mango seedling production, where we are producing grafted mango seedlings. We use seeds from indigenous mango varieties which are adapted to our environmental conditions in terms of tolerance to soil-borne pests and diseases. And then we borrow material, improved material in terms of improved varieties of mangoes, which we now use as scions. Then we graft the scion onto the rootstock, the indigenous rootstock, to produce a seedling that will grow into a plant that can produce under local conditions. We have various varieties. We have the Ngoe varieties, we have the Van Dyke variety, we have apple mango variety, we have Tommy Atkinson, and we have got so many other varieties that are productive. Here we have got the Ngoe and Van Dyke. So we raise the seeds in tubes, biodegradable material that are more environmental friendly. This one will degrade within 6 to 7 months. It will have disappeared in the soil naturally. So we use them to raise the rootstock from the indigenous mango varieties. And once they reach pencil stage or pencil size in terms of diameter, that's about 3 to 5 months depending on the region and the temperature conditions, then they are ready. Then from that, we shall cut it somewhere here at this height, and then bring borrowed improved material from a donor plant that is performing well, say Ngoe variety or Van Dyke variety or apple mango. We get a scion from there, remove all the leaves, and then trim off the leaf bases, and then cut it to a height of about 2 to 2.5 inches long. Then make a wedge by sharpening using a surgical blade or any other sharp blade. You sharpen the base after trimming off the leaf bases, but be sure not to cut the tip, because that is what is going to give us the stem that will produce the branches and eventually the fruit. Then from that cut material, now make a wedge, make it sharp. And then you'll make an incision, you split the root material and then insert it there. Make sure that the two must be of the same diameter so that there's no overlapping, otherwise it will not heal very quickly. And then now use a disinfected material. If the tape is twisted, then you will not have a good tie. That will provide for entry of pathogens, which will again make your plant rot. Then once you're done, you make a knot, then you can discard the remaining part of the tape. It's always good to go beyond the wound by 0.5 centimeter below and 0.5 centimeter above. But remember that you also created more wounds. So it's always good practice also to cover it until you only leave the tip alone, because these ones can also become entry points for pathogens. And then now take it for maintenance. Regular watering, not to make the soil wet, but just to make the soil moist. If the soil nutrients are low, you also apply manure in addition to what had been put there before. And then give it more time in a warm environment that's protected against damage by insects. So you may need to regularly also spray, something like maybe once or twice in a month. Within 1 to 2 weeks, you should be able to see a sprout. It is this sprout that will eventually grow up into a tree. After about a month to 2 months, depending on climate or temperature conditions, you should be able to have a mature seedling that is ready now for transplanting. You can do this not only for mangoes, you can also do it for citruses like oranges. You can also do it for other trees. The essence of grafting is to benefit from the rootstock, which is adapted to local soil conditions, and the productivity of the soil material, which may not necessarily be adapted to local soil conditions. So the rootstock will supply the nutrients from the soil, but the soil material will now be giving the production in terms of the fruits. If a farmer has a tree that is mature enough to something like 4 to 4.5 years, depending on the variety, you can get up to almost 14 tons of fruit every season. There are some that fruit twice a year, and there are some that fruit once in a year. A season is 6 to 12 months, depending on the variety. There are varieties that give you, or there are types that give you 2 seasons. Therefore, will give you 28 tons in a year. And there are those that give you only 1 season in a year, which will be 14 tons.